Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Today, what I'm gonna talk, I feel like I wanna talk about the leadership the world has right now, or the things that happening in the world right now. Today I heard the news that America have captured the president and his wife in Venezuela, and the attack they have carried out. Imagine when they carried out an attack, how many civilians die when they bomb the cities. Imagine how many civilians die because of their actions, like some government wants resources or some control in a country to maintain their economy and to maintain their business and to govern a country the way they know. They have money. With money, they have power. They have the best technology. So you think even if you have the best technology, is it moral to attack some country, saying the world that we are doing this because of their drugs? And people know the most of the drugs. There are so many countries that bring drugs to America. Venezuela is not the only country. But why they have done it mainly to Venezuela? You might know long ago US companies had the control over oil reserves in Venezuela, right? And after that, Venezuelan government took that control from them. Imagine if you had some control for your life, in your life, and when you lose that, how you might feel. You feel terrible, right? You want it back. So you plan in all the way to take it back. And mainly if it directly important to your economy, to run your economy, to run your businesses, and to protect their system in their country. Imagine things humans go beyond to do those things. Imagine the number of civilians died. But even the same operations are done by humans. The orders are given by humans, the actions are taken by humans. Humans who are plotting those plans. Why? They don't feel the life, the pain of a human being, or they are only worried about their future, their profits, their growth. There are so many conflicts going on in the world, and many countries want power and control. If they have that, they want to maintain that. They are so much afraid of losing that. So whatever reason, I don't know, you don't know. You only see what they show it on news. In news, they only say they are doing that to Venezuela because of drugs they are trafficking to USA. But if they are trafficking drugs, like recent past days, they have captured oil ships from Venezuela. When they captured those ships, they don't release those. They have said it, even Trump have said it in media, that they take the ownership of the oil. So if they are trafficking and if they are doing this because of the drugs that come into USA, why they have to keep an oil tank, oil ships? Think about it. They might be showing to you one thing on media and doing their back agendas. We don't know. But the problem is they sacrifice civilians, human life just like you and me in order to do that. But as a leader, do you really have to do that? Is that the only option they have? That's something we have to think about. Is that the only way we can carry out our plans in order to maintain our economy, to provide to our citizens? If you are president of America, what you got to do is create systems for humans, for citizens to provide freely, to provide their basic needs systems. To do that with the knowledge they have, that's something they do. With their military power, basically violence, they use it as a tool to keep order. Imagine you and your family. Imagine you have brothers and sisters. If one of your brother use violence in order to take your resources, in order to maintain his family, imagine how you might feel. Do you think it is moral and ethical to do to your brother? I don't think any one of you believe that, right? But if you take countries and as brothers and sisters in this earth, do you feel it's ethical and moral to do that? As I said, humans take actions from their knowledge they have, their experiences, and so much influence from their background, the surrounding, right? If if you are a president and people you are hanging out with have so much knowledge and money and power, you might hang out with them. And their beliefs and their way of maintaining their business, you absorb that when you are surrounded by them, right? As humans, as I said, we elect a leader. Why? We have to think about that first. We elect a leader to a country simply because to create systems and maintain rules in order for them to provide their basic needs with ease and live in the country with safety. That's the main reason we elect a leader to our country. Do we know that first? But you see, when they come into the power and use your tax money to do that, who profits? Are you profiting from the actions they take? Are you benefiting? Something happened to you? But they come into the media and justify their actions by putting fear. The media shows the incident, the narrative, create fear inside us, and they call it like they narrate as like a safety threat for us. As we humans, we attach to our safety. If something happens to us, we react. We don't like something happening to us. So when they come into the media and say we are doing this to protect you, your silence simply improves their perspective. But if human, how can a human harm another human to do that? Why they do that? To have resources, to have money, to have power, to have control. Simply it. That is because we are more attached to our resources, the things we can buy with money, our titles. We are more attached. Now think about yourself. Humans have attachments. You are mostly attached to your body. When something happens to your body, you react. And then we are attached to our family and friends, the close people around us. How many people? 20, 30, 50, 100, 500? Not much, that much. Even for your wedding, how many people comes? So when something happens to your family, you react, you take action because you have a feeling to protect for their safety. You feel a responsibility, right? And what are you attached to? We are attached to our habits, behaviors, beliefs. We are attached to those. When someone questions our beliefs, it feels like they are hurting us and we want to react, we want to defend ourselves, we want them to believe our beliefs, and we fight to protect our beliefs, our values. And then we are attached to our worldly resources, the things we can get with money, power, the houses, the cars that we can get with money. We are attached to that. When something happens to our car, we react, we feel sad, right? But when something happens to the neighbor's car, you don't feel anything. You are not attached to that car, but you are attached to this car. And then humans are attached to our titles. If you are manager, president, pope, or anything, you are attached to your titles. If you are manager and you never go back to being an assistant manager ever again, why? You feel like it's degrading. But the truth is, it's just a title. What you do to survive. So that's the normal human attachment, right? So in those attachments, how many people roughly? Mostly family and friends, which is not more than 500. Even for your Facebook, you only add 5,000 friends because even they know we can't have more than that friends, right? But in the world, there are so many people, millions, billions. If you are president of USA, you are responsible for millions of people, nearly 400 million. So imagine the number 400 million. How can you care about those? But your job is to care for them. Your job is to responsible for how they live, for their lifestyle. Your job is to create systems that benefit them, that make their life easier. But even if you are president, there are few people in your close attachments. The rest of the 400 million is out of your attachments. Before those attachments, we are mostly attached to our worldly resources and our titles and our beliefs. So when we spend more time maintaining our power, maintaining our resources and maintaining our beliefs, we have less time to spend on those millions of people, because even the presidents have 24 hours in a day just like you and me. So their priority mainly goes to their attachment, to maintain and protect their attachments, and then the rest of the people comes. So do you think they can do a better job? All these in the world, the countries, they are protesting, they are overthrowing their governments. Why? In this current system they can't sustain, they can't do that. Even imagine the UK, how many prime ministers they had, how many prime ministers had in Australia, what happened to many governments. People stood up to them. So we have the power to elect leaders as well, right? Every job in this world need a qualification. If you go to interview, they look for qualification. The election is also like an interview. They are running for president and we are the ones electing. So why don't we ask any qualification, and what are the qualifications the world leaders have right now? It's 4:55. I need to go. So what are the qualifications they have? Public speaking, they are good at speaking, right? They're good at debating. That's why most of the leaders are lawyers. And then some leaders are TV presenters, actors, comedians, because they know how to present an idea, how to manipulate a crowd, how to plant their opinion in their heads. They have trained it. They get the power, but they don't have the money. So they hang out with people who have money. That's who they have dinner with. And over time, their beliefs are going to become your beliefs. And when you try to maintain those attachments, whatever money, resources, titles, beliefs, you ignore the other millions of people. So if you want a leader who care for you, we need to ask for qualifications. What are those qualifications? Beyond your attachments to feel about another human being, each and every religious leaders in this world have told to learn about yourself, to go within yourself, to understand, to love yourself. That is something we got to do. We have to learn about how our mind works. Humans don't learn about our mind. We learn all our body parts. With the body we bring, that's the only thing we bring. We learn how to walk, how to talk, everything, but we don't learn about our mind. And all other things outside is just temporary, and you are a guardian. So we have to learn about our mind. That education is called emotional intelligence. I'm trying to say it quickly. Emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence should be a qualification, a training should be given to leaders. Then leaders are better able, equipped with tools to prioritize humans before their attachments. If they don't understand their attachments and how they react to situations, they don't care for millions of people, because their priority comes the easiest way, because other than humans. So if emotional intelligence leaders are in America, in other countries, the incidents that happened last night, the bombing in Venezuela, it won't happen, because the leaders will never ask to kill a human to because of their attachment to their power, money, and their plans, their beliefs. The plans are their beliefs, simply how they see the world, and the only option they have, they think the best option they have. So a leader with knowledge about yourself, understanding, self-awareness, will never plan to hurt a human. And planning, not defending yourself, planning to hurt a human is against the nature, and you are nature, and remember that. And when the next time your president's running for election, ask them for a qualification, and the qualification is emotional intelligence training and practice, and continuous, that's continuous practice. And we can create a system to track that education and practice